Hello YouTube and Facebook. Today I'm going to be talking about the World card. Now this card comes from the Melanated Classic Tarot deck. So that is the deck that this card comes from. Most of the tarot interpretations that I will be using on this channel will be coming from the Melanated Classic Tarot. I will have some other decks that I'll be using, but for right now mostly using the Melanated Classic Tarot. Now this card is interesting. If you look here, you'll see a man, you would see an eagle or a hawk. It's more like an eagle to me. And then you will see a lion, and then you will see a bull. These represent different signs of the zodiac. The man here represents Sagittarius. The eagle here will represent Scorpio. The lion here will represent Leo. And the bull, of course, will represent Taurus. So you have all these things that's coming into this card that's influencing this person here. Now, if you know about the tarot, you know the first card in the tarot is the Fool card. So actually, if you go to the tarot deck and you go to the whole story that's connected to the tarot, because it is, I see it as a one big long story that someone's telling, and this is sort of like the end of the journey. So at the beginning of this story, at the beginning of this journey, the character is male, and at the end the character is female, which I think is very interesting. Now this card, if you look at it, she's dancing. It looks like she's dancing on air. And she holds two wands in her hands. It represents balance. Usually people who have like those type of wands in their hands, that they're balancing on a tightrope or something. But she's balancing like the elements. So it's pretty interesting. So that's one of the things that this card represents, balance. And if you look here, almost has like an X on the top of this reef here. In some tarot decks, I've seen the Ouroboros, the snake biting its own tail. I've seen that as a symbology in the World Tarot. But here they have a reef, and it represents no beginning and no end. So this is like a continual cycle that's happening. You know, the Fool goes through its journey and then comes out the other end as someone who's going to master the world, or someone who's going to take charge of their life. That's where it's supposed to be. This card is also interesting because, like I said, she's dancing on air and she's surrounded by purple royalty. It's like a purple, almost look like a shawl or scarf that she's wearing. So I think that's interesting. Also, this card represents earth, air, fire, and water too. The eagle here represents water and air. It represents air for the obvious reason. Now, this is my interpretation. It represents air because it's an eagle, but it's also associated with Scorpio. So it also represents water. The Sagittarius is represented as a man here. And to me, he represents the intellect. He represents the archer. This is Sagittarius. The bull here represents, on a negative level, it could represent bullheaded thinking, or being caught up in a mode of thinking that's no longer vital for you. And on a positive note, it represents conquering life's challenges. You know, the bull's horns represent strength. And here we have the fiery lion. So of course that would be fire. And I would say that this represents air too. And this represents fire. And so it has all of the elements here: earth, air, fire, water. I see this as like a two elements here. And of course, the bull here would be earth. Very interesting card. Dancing on air represents the end of the fool's journey. Depending on where this comes up in your chart, it could mean many, many things. But this is an absolute beautiful card. The symbology here is beautiful. Know that at the end of the journey, you have many possibilities, many things that can come up in your life. And what you have to do is make them work for you. All right, that's my interpretation of the World card. Until next time, Uncle Jasanel, peace, see you later, and hasta la vista, baby.